All right, so in geometry, we're starting to talk about points. Points are made to show location. So they show us where things are located. Remember, points are always labeled with parentheses and an X and a Y, at least as far as on a graph. Otherwise, a point is just a dot. Okay, and points will be named with letters. So if I were to have 3 points, we could call this point A, point B, and point C.
Has a degree of 2? What does that mean?
The problem is a dot or a point cannot precisely represent a location. It's not 100% exact because sometimes our dots are really big, sometimes our dots are really small. So they're not 100% precise, but they show a location. A point has no length, width, or height. It has no height because it has no dimension. So it asks us to define infinitely small. Well, if I want to define something that's infinitely small, that means it's so small it can't be measured. So it's so small it can't be measured. Now, Euclid, who was what we call the father of geometry, defined a point as that which has no part. That which has no part. So it asks us to give 2 examples where points are useful in the real world. Well, they can be useful in a lot of different places. Some examples are they can be used to map a location. They can be useful as, like, if we were talking about, like, if we had a radar screen, like if we worked as in a air traffic controller and you had a radar screen you were looking at, then they could be used to represent objects on a radar screen. So a few other things you probably want to remember, and I would probably write these down, is remember points can never overlap. So some things about points. They can never overlap because each point represents a different location, so they can't ever be on top of each other. Okay. Second thing that you want to remember about points is that if you have a space, so like in this space right here, in this square, there's an infinite number of points because they have no dimensions. So it's an infinite number of points because it has no dimensions. All right, good luck. There is no checkup for this.